Recording 3/31 Friday 2017. SPY in long-term uptrend, making higher highs, higher lows on the 1-year daily chart coming into the intermediate term. We had a gap up at all-time highs, and then trended down from that gap day to the other side of Keltner channel through prior support. Now testing back up into this prior support level, so long-term trend is up. Intermediate term trend is indecisive at best. Top pre-market movers, FMC. So this is a chemical company and material sector. So long-term uptrend is up. Intermediately, maybe sideways, and then we gap up to all-time highs. So my trade is not gapping up to all-time highs. It's a gap up to all-time highs, but I would pass on this because it's a gap. DBRY, Blackberries, Tech. Long-term trend is sideways. Intermediate trend, sideways as well. So kind of gapping up above this little intermediate high, but Blackberry trades like 10 cents a day, so not exactly an ideal stock to trade. We're the top pre-market movers, but probably still better stocks to be trading than Blackberry because the daily chart is in a long sideways range. So to break down my trades, start out with Win. So the first stock I traded was Win. So what's the long term here? Sideways. Win is a casino, consumer cyclical sector. So intermediately long-term sideways trend. Recently, volumes come in, consolidated all-time highs, blasted higher, consolidated all-time highs. So on this day we saw a sushi roll. So my idea was, since we opened lower, that we would potentially sushi roll again through these 3 overlapping days. So got the lower open. Why I don't like how I traded this trade is we opened up and then we spiked up immediately. So this violates principle number 6 of zooming up. We don't want to be trading after a zoom. So this is a poor place where I entered right in here. Maybe a sushi roll will be different if we just kind of open down and then make a couple higher lows intraday, but this zoom up is certainly not a place to be buying. So that was a pitiful trade. 1. Moving on, CNET. CNET is a penny stock. CNET has been going sideways for about a year, and then we had this gap up on volume, and intermediately healthcare, biotech though going sideways as well. So really no trend here, no trend whatsoever. So had this wide range day the prior day on some nice volume. So what are the expectations for coming into today's trading session? Probably morning continuation, then 80-20. So we open flat, test down, go up, and if anyone had been doing their homework, had been paying attention, studied the chart, studied the just taking their time to look at the big picture to put everything in context, would have seen that this is not the time to be looking for a flag, because morning continuation, 80-20. And also, if you look, there's prior resistance level right here, and we spike right up to it and immediately reject. So, that's a couple strikes against this long trade. Is it the full code bait? Sure. But what's the context? Is we're coming off a wide range day. Reject hard off of resistance levels. It's not a spot to be buying, which of course I bought right here. And yeah, not a good trade. Number 2. So, gonna break down Momo, and then I'll talk about the only good trade I made for today that I still managed to fuck up. So, Momo, tech stock, in the long-term uptrend. Intermediately, we had gapped up to all-time highs, 52-week highs, and kind of just been going sideways. I mean, we technically been making higher highs, higher lows here, but it's not really convincingly. Like every time we push higher, the volume isn't really good. So we closed, just underneath all. We tried to make a new all-time high on Thursday. Closed back down below that level. So, kind of weakness in the background. Just going into Momo, we are still at near 52-week highs. So, if we would have broken out above here and maybe held higher, it could have been a nice long. But there's definitely weakness in the background. So we gap down, go down. What I noticed is that we were, this is the prior day's low, I believe. Right, it's prior day's low. So we're making a full cove L, so weakness in the background plus lower highs, lower highs, lower highs into this prior day's low. So shorting right in here with my stop above here, thinking, looking for continuation, looking for the full cove L trade with the weakness in the background. This is actually a decent trade, but still within the prior 3 days range, so maybe not the best trade, but still much better than CNAT and WIN. At least there's a big picture idea, weakness in the background, and intraday kind of confirmation, and at least taking the Cove L idea. So I'm not terribly upset with Momo, but probably better trades. The last one would be Dry. So Darden Restaurant. So this just came off earnings, I believe. Long term, we were going, at least 6 months sideways, then thrust and consolidating higher. So intermediately, we just had this huge wide range day on volume, gap up, go up, and then 2 narrow range days, or after this wide range day, last day being narrow range inside day. So, the idea was to be alerted above these days high, above Wednesday's high, and looking for continuation because we are in a long-term uptrend. So, had an alert set here. We got alerted here, went back down, but as we started making higher lows here, I got long somewhere in here, and my stop was right down here, which was fine. But, instead of following the plan of I'm either getting stopped out or, I'm like letting the trade work itself out. I think Brian Shannon says they'll either scare you out or they'll wear you out, and I think I got a little of both right here. So I've been maybe making a bad habit of time stopping myself out of positions. Maybe sometimes it's good, maybe sometimes it's bad. And we did break out higher, but kind of like started to close lower. I thought I saw like maybe an intraday head and shoulders here. But the place where my trade idea is wrong is down through here, so I shouldn't be, stopping myself out until my stop is violated, and that's kind of the point. And so this would have been a winning trade today if I just let it work. Nothing terribly amazing, but risking 20 cents to make, say I got out near the end of the day, just like right in here, like 60 cents. So, 3 to 1, but at least a lot of the big principles are going here. We got the big picture uptrend, in play with recent volume. This is a restaurant, so it's nothing like, it's not like tech. It's not like biotech or healthcare. So consumer cyclical, but it's the principles are in favor of this, being a good trade, being at 52-week highs, being in a long-term uptrend, volume recently coming in, being in the Cove H, holding higher above that level, so there's a lot of stuff going there, and just let the trade work. So, still could have had a winning day, just I'm not trading well. It's not, Wednesday distraction, Thursday personally getting in the way, and then Friday is just poor trading. So, I think it's a reflection of the amount of effort I've been putting in. It says a lot about how I've been feeling, how long it took me to record this video. Just I'm tucking, my head, my tail between my legs, and I'm just like, not taking it like a man, not focusing, not working hard, kind of being a pussy about it, just to be honest. And I gotta really just nut up and get back on the horse. So talk about other stocks, that moved, that were good movers. Pulse, so long-term uptrend after coming off a long base, higher highs, higher lows, but going parabolic, so some bad boy maybe had to come back to earth eventually. So had this thrust and close way down on this wide range day, one of the widest range days on the chart on the highest volume. Saw it is for a couple days. Obvious change of character here. So we come in today, we gap down, we go down. So doesn't mean we can't short no, but should have immediate pause. This was kind of a prior support level, kind of over under support level. I had marked as 22.20. You can see that from the 30-minute chart. So we come down, we test it, and started going sideways around it. So I was really honestly thinking about throwing on a short right in here. We got full Covell, kind of like, you almost call this like a flag, just like, little wedge, just whatever. It's like it's a sideways pullback, and then but this kind of like, outside bar kind of fucked me up, and I don't know, just I didn't like the way that looked, so I just passed on it. But this just goes to show sometimes you do everything right. Something like this is gonna happen, you get stopped out. Even if you shorter than here and had your stop, close to VWAP, maybe you get stopped out, but you did the right thing. So I think the right thing still is just to put on this trade. If you get stopped out, that's out of your control, or be willing to get right back in. And after this bar happens, you don't have to necessarily put your stop up above this bar. You can still just kind of treat it here, because I think this is more like an outlier. Just a quick hit for stops, but you throw in a short and you risk 50 cents and make another $1.50. So 3-to-1 trade, pretty good. Amazon. So Amazon consumer sector, long-term uptrend, holding at the 52-week highs. Intermediately, we've just broken out on volume. Last day was a narrow range day, so call that a small pullback. And then we open slightly up. I mean, $1 and a $876 stock is not that much. So, you could have been buying any of these little pullbacks right here, any pullbacks, buy a pullback. I saw these, but I can't really buy that many shares in my account size. I'm gonna buy 20 shares, and 20 shares goes up $10. I mean, I guess that's $200, but I don't know. Just didn't seem like it was that good risk. I think there's better stocks that could be trading. But the principle of obviously here is more the spot to buy this, so we have an intraday trend change, 2 higher highs, 2 higher lows, so kind of buying it here, so your risk is here, and even then the risk reward is more like 4-to-1 at that point. So I mean, maybe if you're quick on the draw and you know what you're looking for right in here, you get a much better trade. But Amazon was definitely a good trade for the day. Got a big picture idea. It's trading at 52-week highs with blue skies above. So NC was another one. So high beta stock, biotech. It's been a long-term uptrend. Let me get rid of these lines here. So just making higher highs, higher lows, but not really swinging. Just kind of gap up, go sideways, gap up, go sideways. So we get this wide range bar. 52-week highs, not a lot of volume coming in, goes sideways here, change of character back down and going sideways, overlapping at the midline. So, potential exhaustion gap here. And then, this volume maybe rotational out. So, intermediate trends kind of the past month is kind of just going sideways. But, looking like the first maybe change of character. So this would be the anti-trade. Also, we have a nice 6 days overlapping here, and call that an obvious over/under level. Making lower highs into the level. So coming down, we gap down, go down. So what do we want to do? Is kind of wait that one out. Just let it go sideways, let it show it's not rejecting hard back into the prior day's close. And then, at any point when we start holding back below VWAP, you could probably get short and, put your stop up here. So they're just at VWAP, so 30 cents to make, $1.80, so 6-to-1. So with that being said, that's my breakdown for Friday's trades. Let's talk about Monday, what I want to order my setups for Monday. Tesla, still, so Tesla makes electric cars and other awesome stuff. They've been, auto manufacturer, consumer cyclical, so people buy shit. Recently had it's kind of going sideways long term, I guess, but recently we've been in an uptrend. Near 52-week highs, kind of pull back. So, but in the past couple months, like just going sideways. But what I noticed is we had these like 4 like kind of overlapping days. So basically, just kind of have alerts set up there for breakouts. But Tesla definitely moves once you get these little compression areas and just near the Keltner. So if we are swinging from the sides of the channels, one side to the other, this is a nice setup, potentially to break out. Kite has been on my radar for just like so long now, so we just have these, we had this long-term base, gap up, volume has made this in play. This is a biotech stock, so higher highs, higher lows, but then change of character and going sideways, so I was thinking anti-setup. What really sticks out to me is like 4 overlapping days, so it's maybe setting up a breakout, just kind of looking for that overlap. We talk about overlap the midline, sets up potential breakouts. And then I think those were my top 2 ideas. So kind of just my top 2 ideas, kind of right in the sweet spot of just like what I trade. So I'm just gonna wrap this up quick. Just talk about my weekend review of just started out fine. Alf was still, it was an okay trade. The 27th. So I had this idea, and maybe a little timing was a little early, but the idea was good. Snap was a good trade, good idea, big picture trade. Ended up trading Alf again, and Ovas, big picture. So like started out the week very solidly, 3 good trades with 3 big picture ideas, trading good stocks. So that's the most important thing. Is really how I'm judging, my trades. But then we, come back into Alf, great. Traded this 28th, big picture idea below an obvious level, awesome. ESPR, not so good, trading within the prior 3 days range. Or actually, ESPR on the 28th was a good trade, right? So, on the 28th, trading below this low, decent trade right there. Covel below like the past 5 days low, so I wonder why that worked. So that's that same Alf. RH, okay, this is where it all went to shit. So trading a gap, bad. Momo on the 29th, trading within the past, like, I don't know, 10 days range. Wonder why that trade didn't work. Gap. NKTR on the 29th. So, kind of take a look at that. Maybe not the best stock to be trading. Or where at least where I bought it, I didn't have a good entry. So, I think the entry I wanted was somewhere in here, and if I have that entry, like maybe I make a little bit of money. But at least there's the big picture trading, stock at 52-week highs, at all-time highs. Like I'm not upset about that. Like CoveH, but my entry was shitty on NKTR that day. We talked about how terrible Momo was. Lulu, hey, big gap. Wonder why that shit didn't work. TTPH, maybe not the best stock, but on the 30th, but I'm trading a stock at all-time highs. Although it is a penny stock, why wasn't this a good trade? However, just because I'm trading a 52-week highs, penny stock in a hot healthcare sector, why is this not a good trade? Well, as you can clearly see, we open up, go up. So not a good trade that day. AOI, this was a good idea, and shorting, but I had already traded the shitty stock, traded this shit, decent stock with a bad setup intraday, and then I was at I hit my max stop loss, so I couldn't have traded this awesome trade that set up later in the day. Maybe I had a losing trade earlier, but that would have been okay. The point was I, should have had enough to reload for another trade. I think I'm trying to be too cute, and we've just gone over Friday's trade, so just trying to be too cute, guessing sushi roll here, not listening to the principle of a zoom up, go up, and just forcing what I want to see on the markets instead of just reading the price action. And CNET, same shit, not reading, not putting all the pieces of a picture together. Drive's actually, one good trade, but I fucking fucked my own plan up. And then, last but not least, Momo is back in all this gunk, so probably not the best trade. So, what does it boil down to? Started out the week strong, trading good stocks, and then started slipping back into old habits. So, the old habits are, trading gap up, go up, trading gaps, trading spike up, not honoring the principle of zooming to a level. The best trades I had this week were the ones that were shorts below obvious levels, that were longs holding above all-time highs. So, what I don't know. And then also, just personally about like self-sabotage, no commitment, no effort. And it was pretty evident that as I worked hard over last weekend preparing to come into Monday and Tuesday, I was trading good stocks, and then probably got the big head. Definitely got the big head over the week, and said I had a couple winning days, and then I went in the tank, and then started having failure, and wasn't man enough to own up and to work hard over the weekend to let me rephrase that. I wasn't willing to face the realization of my failures, and I didn't want to look myself in the mirror because I knew I had failed myself, and that's just I'm not gonna make it in this game if I can't do that. So anyway, man, to just land the plane. Terribly disappointed about how this week ended, about how I've been acting as just a person. So, the beauty of life is that each day is a new day, and each chance is a new chance to do better. So, how can I start to right the ship? Well, come in to today prepared and follow the process and not take a trade unless it sets up. So this is a bit of a lengthy video. Hope you had a good weekend, and take care. Later.